What's up, guys? This is Chris from DraftDashboard.com.
Here are my DFS picks for NFL Week 3, Thursday Night Football.
These picks apply for DraftKings and FanDuel. Before I get started, please drop a like on this video and hit that red subscribe button
And hit that bell icon
so you don't miss our new videos.
Okay, in this video, I'm going to give you my top picks for the Thursday Night Football Showdown between the San Francisco 49ers and the New York Giants. And if you stick around to the very end of this video, we'll use the Draft Dashboard tools to make a DFS lineup using the picks we just made. Okay guys, let's take a look at this Thursday Night Football Showdown between the New York Giants and the San Francisco 49ers. So at the quarterback position, I like Daniel Jones from the New York Giants playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a good defense overall, and they've been good versus opposing quarterbacks. But Daniel Jones averaging 20.6 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 11 rush attempts per game. So that's primarily why I like this pick. He's got a lot of rushing upside. If he gets going, can score a rushing touchdown. He's going to be about 52% owned, projected at 16.9 fantasy points here tonight. He's 10,200 DraftKings salary. So Vegas thinks there's going to be 44 points scored in this game. And they have the Giants trailing by 10.5. So that's why I like Daniel Jones. I think the pressure is going to be on him to score the ball. Brock Purdy and the San Francisco 49ers, they could be running the ball all day long with Christian McCaffrey. You never know. Although Brock Purdy at 9,400 DK salary, he's a fine play. Scored 15 and 18 fantasy points in the first 2 weeks, but I think I just prefer to pay up $800 more on DK and go with Daniel Jones. But Brock Purdy going to be about 58% owned, so it does look like the field favors Brock Purdy a little bit. But I like Daniel Jones here versus the San Francisco 49ers. Okay, let's take a look at the running back position. So the elephant in the room, the stud on the slate, is Christian McCaffrey from the San Francisco 49ers playing the New York Giants, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They give up the 8th most fantasy points to opposing running backs. Christian McCaffrey averaging 27.2 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 21 rush attempts per game and 4 pass targets per game. Been on the field for 92% of the snaps, going to be about 80% owned. Projected at 21.5 fantasy points here tonight. He's 13,200 DraftKings salary. Just hard to see making a lineup without Christian McCaffrey. But I mean, if he does for some reason get injured or doesn't find the end zone, if he only puts up like 15 fantasy points, he's not going to be able to justify that price tag. So if you want to be super risky, you could fade Christian McCaffrey. I won't be doing so. So I like Christian McCaffrey. It could be a running game script here with Vegas thinking that the San Francisco 49ers are going to be leading this game by 10.5. Could be an awful lot of Christian McCaffrey. They could also get a big lead and maybe they want to play a little bit Elijah Mitchell. So keep an eye on Elijah Mitchell as a sleeper pick at only 2,400 DraftKings salary. He's actually going to be about 20% owned, so not really a super sleeper pick there. Just a low salary play that makes sense. Now, Elijah Mitchell hasn't done much the past couple of weeks, so keep that in mind. But the salary is low enough where he doesn't need much to hit value. So anyways, you got Christian McCaffrey as the stud on the slate. You got Elijah Mitchell as the value or the sleeper pick on the slate at running back. And then if you come to the New York Giants and look at their running back, Saquon Barkley is out, sprained his ankle. He's going to be out. So that opens up Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell. Looks like the odds-on favorite for the most touches here is Matt Breida from the New York Giants playing the San Francisco 49ers. who have a good defense overall, and they're middle of the pack defending opposing running backs. So Matt Breida, he's only averaged 1.1 fantasy points per game on the season. Just keep in mind, guys, these stats, throw them out the window for Matt Breida and Gary Brightwell, because Saquon Barkley injured his ankle at the end of the game last game. So these guys didn't get a lot of time to play, so you could almost throw up a coin flip here. Both these guys you could absolutely plug in and get some production from them. Hard to know exactly who's going to get more fantasy production here tonight with Saquon Barkley out. But like I said, the odds-on favorite is Matt Breida. He's going to be about 25% owned compared to Gary Brightwell at about 7% owned. So I like Matt Breida here versus the San Francisco 49ers.
Before I continue with the picks, I'm excited today because we added a new contest for everyone watching.
If you want to enter the drawing for $25 PayPal,
all you need to do is like this video, hit that subscribe button, and make a quick comment below to be entered into the drawing. We'll reply to a random comment and let you know that you won.
And we'll send you $25 PayPal.
So it's that easy, and we pick a new winner every Saturday and announce them in our video. So get your comment in now so I can add another entry for you.
Okay, let's take a look at the wide receiver position. So one of the studs on the slate, or the healthy stud on the slate, is Deebo Samuel from the San Francisco 49ers playing the New York Giants, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall. They're middle-of-the-pack defending opposing wide receivers. So Deebo Samuel, he's averaged 16.7 fantasy points per game on the season. He's getting an average of 8 pass targets per game and 3.5 rush attempts per game. So they use him as a running back, and it looks like he's getting pretty decent volume. He got 9 rushes last week, so that can add up, and especially if he finds his way into the end zone. That gives him a burst of value here for DFS. So he's going to be about 60% owned, was on the field for 88% of the snaps last week, or this season, and he's projected at 14.3 fantasy points. He's 8,800 DraftKings salary. So he put up 22 fantasy points last week off of 9 pass targets, put up 11 the week before that off of 7 pass targets. And I like this pick because Brandon Ayuk is questionable for the San Francisco 49ers, so Deebo Samuel might suck up a lot of pass targets in this game. And he's only $200 more than Brandon Ayuk, so I think he's the clear-cut stud wide receiver on the slate. So I like Deebo Samuel here versus the New York Giants. Okay, let's come down in salary here. For the New York Giants, a couple of value plays that I like. One of them is Darius Slayton, and he's averaging 6.9 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5.5 pass targets per game. Going to be about 24% owned, was on the field for 75% of the snaps.
Real quick, guys, I got great news. For a limited time, we're offering a full 30-day trial to Draft Dashboard. You can try all of our DFS tools for all sports. This is a great time to get in and try everything for 1 month. The tools are all about saving research time. You can see the last 3 games, the fantasy points per game, the targets they got per game, so you can see how involved they are in the offense, the rushes they got per game. Seeing all this stuff on one screen helps you save time and make better picks. Oh, and if you're tired of doing research every day, we just added a cheat sheet that shows hand-picked plays for the slate. No confusing stat lines, no headaches, just a simple cheat sheet that shows the absolute best players for your lineups.
He's projected at 7.8 fantasy points here tonight. He's 5,600 DraftKings salary. Scored 9 and 5 fantasy points the last 2 weeks off of 6 and 5 pass targets. So I like this pick because the New York Giants could fall behind here. Might have to throw the ball up to Darius Slayton to try to catch up. So I like Darius Slayton here versus the San Francisco 49ers. Now, the other New York Giants wide receiver that I like at a discount is Paris Campbell. And he's from the New York Giants. He's averaging 3.7 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 5 pass targets per game. So the opportunity is there. So he's getting an average of 5. Darius Slayton an average of 5.5. So both these guys have opportunity to catch the ball. Paris Campbell going to be about 18% owned. Was on the field for 67% of the snaps. And he's projected at 6.7 fantasy points. Only 4,400 DraftKings salary. Scored 6 and 1 fantasy points the last 2 weeks off of 6 and 4 pass targets. But I do think he's a nice value play. I do prefer Darius Slayton, but I don't mind stacking up Campbell and Slayton in this game. Then go ahead and play the quarterback. That's looking like a pretty nice combination. We'll make a lineup at the end of this video, and I'll play that stack. I'll play my New York Giants stack, because I do think it's going to be like Christian McCaffrey running up the points from the San Francisco 49ers, and then running it back with the New York Giants wide receivers. So that's the lineup that I'm going to play. So moving on to the tight end position, you got Darren Waller from the New York Giants playing the San Francisco 49ers, who have a good defense overall. They're middle of the pack defending opposing tight ends. Darren Waller averaging 10.1 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 6.5 pass targets per game. Going to be about 34% owned. Was on the field for 72% of the snaps. And he's projected at 10.7 fantasy points here tonight. He's 7,400 DraftKings salary. And he scored 14 and 7 fantasy points the last 2 games off of 8 and 5 pass targets. So I like Darren Waller here versus the San Francisco 49ers. And for the 49ers, you got George Kittle playing the New York Giants, who have a middle-of-the-pack defense overall, middle-of-the-pack defending opposing tight ends. George Kittle averaging 5.5 fantasy points per game on the season, getting an average of 4.5 pass targets per game. Going to be about 33% owned. He's on the field for 82% of the snaps, and he's projected at 11 fantasy points. So it's kind of interesting that George Kittle projected at 11, where Darren Waller only projected at 10.7. But that doesn't kind of make sense because their ownership is like exactly the same here. Salary not too much different. You're going to save some money on Kittle. So George Kittle about 33% owned. Yeah, projected 11 fantasy points. He's gonna be 6,600 DraftKings salary. So he's 800 less than Darren Waller. I think it's a coin flip with these two. I think you could play either one in your lineup, and I would play one or the other. So I like George Kittle here versus the New York Giants.
If you want to try all these daily fantasy tools for yourself, click the link in the description below this video, or just go to draftdashboard.com. You can use our DFS lineup optimizer to build quality lineups using our picks and your own custom player pool. Click the link in the description below this video and try all these daily fantasy tools right now. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon so you can get instant updates whenever we post a new video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this video, please smickety smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, and please comment below with your favorite player for this NFL slate. I love to hear what you guys have to think. Thanks again, and good luck.